Phi Gamma Delta once had its fraternity at the corner of 3rd and Indiana Streets in what is sometimes referred to as the Old Crescent. Known as the FIJI House, the fraternity was torn down in 2017. IU acquired the property, but for now, it remains a green space. Sarah Vaughn has the story.
Like many universities, Indiana University acquires property for long-term planning, but without any specific or immediate projects in mind. That's according to Tom Morrison, IU's Vice President for Capital Planning and Facilities.
Sometimes if you draw the line in between when we acquired property and when we eventually build upon that property, you might find decades in between.
Morrison says acquiring 631 East 3rd Street was important because it was the last piece of the older part of campus the university didn't already own. That part of campus is known as the Old Crescent. Wiley Hall, Swain Hall, Ballantyne, and the Geological Sciences Building are part of a crescent of historic buildings arcing around Dunn Meadow. The university undertook renovations of Old Crescent buildings in phases, most recently completing renovations at Ballantyne and the Geological Sciences Building in 2020. The university had eyed one small slice of the Crescent for decades, though, the site of the old FIJI House. Reportedly, it missed a chance at the site in the 1940s, but now that it has it, it's simply green space. Morrison acknowledges people speculate about the university's plans for the site.
Many people probably go to an automatic assumption that it might have been an expansion of the law school. There were others who thought it was going to be an expansion of physics. And still others who think, something in between. And but really, we have not, since we acquired the property, had any plans for the site.
The Zeta chapter of Phi Gamma Delta had called 631 East 3rd Street home for more than a century. When it needed to move, the fraternity, often referred to as FIJI, came by its current location at East 8th and North Woodlawn in a land swap. IU trustees approved the deal in 2014. The university originally tagged 6 buildings on that block for demolition to make room for the new 52,000-square-foot fraternity house. But the demolition proposal prompted public protest because many homes in the North Woodlawn neighborhood dated back to the early 1900s. The public pushback was so great, the university agreed to relocate 5 of the homes and demolish only 1, reportedly at a cost of $1 million. The relocated homes went to vacant lots the university owned in the area. 631 East 3rd Street, the site of the old FIJI House, will remain vacant, save for landscaping.
What you are not seeing on the immediate horizon is building new buildings. We just came through a period of, if you think of new academic buildings that were added, think the Global and International Studies building, the Ferguson building that we just opened, the additions to the Kelly School, the additions to the O'Neill School, SPIA, 2 buildings related to Luddy, or the Luddy School. That was a significant amount of addition of square footage during the last decade.
He says about 2/3 of the university's capital projects were renovation, and that priority remains. But he says, space-wise,
we know that our capacity to utilize the space we have with the students we have today is about right.
And so Morrison says the site of the old fraternity house will be green space for the foreseeable future. For WFIU News, I'm Sarah Vaughn.